8 million evictions will cause Americans to panic in August. Rent prices soar. In the heart of America, within the fabric of its cities and suburbs, a quiet crisis is unfolding. A crisis not of grand events or sensational headlines, but one that is subtly looking at the foundation of countless lives. The cost of shelter, a basic human need, is surging relentlessly, transcending the limits of affordability for many families. Despite claims of a cooling trend, recent surveys reveal an unsettling reality. Rent prices are ascending, casting a shadow over the lives of millions. This is not just a story of figures and percentages, it is a story of individuals, families, and communities. It is a narrative that demands our attention, our empathy, and our action. It is a narrative of households facing rent hikes, wages that fail to keep pace, and a growing struggle to make ends meet. Hang on as we unravel the layers of this complex issue, peeling back the curtain on a crisis that threatens the very fabric of American society. We put enormous effort into producing data-driven content to show you what's fake and what's real. Subscribe and comment to The Final Economy. Survey insights shed light on an alarming truth. Rent hikes are a pressing concern. Many American households, about 2/3, face rising rent prices, contradicting claims of cooling trends. These increases, ranging from $75 to $100 per week, translate to burdensome monthly expenses. Families are caught in a cycle, struggling to cope. Wages often fall short, forcing choices between essentials. Financial insecurity looms as another hike could push 85% of renters to the brink. This isn't just data. People's lives, dreams, and well-being are at stake. The survey's message is clear. Urgent measures are essential to avert a worsening crisis. Escalating housing costs are an undeniable struggle for American families. The weight of these increases is felt by most households, with over half experiencing multiple hikes this year alone. Families are forced to make tough choices, cutting back on other necessities to meet rent. According to a customer, "Man, I've been keeping an eye on the rent prices in my area, and it's crazy how they're still going up. I mean, we keep hearing about this supposed cooling trend, but my landlord just sent me a notice about another increase next month. It's getting harder to keep up, especially with everything else going on." Financial insecurity grips many, as even a modest increase can push them to the brink. Amidst these challenges, the dream of home ownership slips further away by 34%, hindered by high prices and difficulty saving for down payments. This crisis is a stark reality reshaping lives across the nation. The battle between wage growth and rent increase is lopsided, putting American families in a tough spot. While wages struggle to keep pace, families bear the burden. Many face multiple hikes, with 85% worried about affording another. The math is stark. Expenses rise while incomes stagnate. This leaves 52% with no choice but to trim essential spending to cover rent, causing financial strain. It's a dire equation, highlighting a harsh reality. The scales are tipped against hard-working families, deepening the affordability crisis and eroding economic stability. The affordability crisis is taking a toll, rippling through the economy with broader impacts. Despite claims of rent prices going down, recent findings expose a grimmer reality. Escalating housing costs strain household budgets, leaving families with little room for other expenses. This imbalance reverberates, families cut back, demand weakens, and local businesses suffer. The cycle deepens as 8 million renters face eviction risks, unsettling communities. This isn't just about homes. It's about livelihoods, local economies, and societal stability. affordability. A looming question emerges. Can a nation prosper when a significant portion is grappling with the burden of unaffordable housing? Many U.S. households, comprising 2/3 of the population, grapple with persistent hikes. While the pace might have slowed, rents are still rising. Families face a daunting 26% surge in the past year alone. This isn't a mere statistical blip. It's a worrisome reality. Families worry about affording another increase, with 85% fearing the burden. The narrative unfolds with families battling to stay afloat in the face of a seemingly unyielding escalation in housing costs. The median rent price in the U.S. is scaling new heights, defying claims of a slowdown. Recent figures show a surge contradicting notions of cooling. As of August 14, 2023, the nation's median rent price has peaked at $2,029, marking the highest since August 2022. This isn't a trivial uptick. It signifies real financial strain for families. In just 2 years, weekly rent bills have soared by an average of $275. The stark truth is, the cost of keeping a roof overhead is stretching wallets to the limit, pushing many to the brink of financial instability. Geographical disparities paint a stark picture of uneven burdens across U.S. states. Some areas are hit harder than others, with South Dakota, Mississippi, and Iowa facing a 27% year-over-year hike. California takes the lead among populous metropolitan areas grappling with significant increases. New York, too, feels the weight, witnessing a 12% surge. This isn't a uniform crisis. It's a patchwork of struggles. Families in various states bear disproportionate rent burdens, challenging notions of a balanced housing market and amplifying the urgency for practical solutions. Builders' main focus on high-end homes is making the lack of affordable housing worse, even though rent prices seem to be calming down. While expenses go up, builders choose projects that make them more money, leaving regular homes behind. Even though house prices are going up, builders have to deal with higher costs and not enough materials. Because of this, they pick fancy homes over ones that more people can afford. This means there aren't enough homes for a lot of families. The difference between expensive and cheap homes keeps getting bigger, making the housing problem worse. We need to include everyone when we come up with solutions. More people are being born and needing homes, which is causing a big problem because there aren't enough houses. Even though rent prices were supposed to go down, that's not happening. New information shows that more families are being formed each year, but there aren't enough houses being built for them. This means there's a bigger and bigger difference between how many houses are needed and how many there are. This messes up the idea of a balanced housing market and makes prices go up. The fast increase in young people also makes this problem worse. If we don't do something about it, the situation will get even worse, and lots of people won't be able to afford homes. This is a serious issue where the number of people is growing faster than the number of homes, and we need smart plans to avoid a big problem. A serious problem is coming up because many people can't pay their rent, and this makes it hard for them to stay in their homes. Even though people thought rent prices would go down, it's not happening. New information shows that a lot of renters are struggling to pay their rent, and this is the worst it's been in 5 months. More than 8 million adults in the U.S. are behind on their rent and could be kicked out of their homes soon. Cities like Minneapolis, Richmond, and Austin are seeing more and more people facing eviction, making a bad situation even worse. Families are in danger of losing their homes, so we need to do something right away to stop this from happening and keep people safe and stable. More and more people are being told to leave their homes because they can't pay rent. This is happening more in some places like Minneapolis, Richmond, and Austin, even though people thought rent prices would go down. New information shows that families in these cities are having a harder time. problem. It's not the same for everyone. It's like a puzzle with different pieces. This problem is getting worse, and it's really sad, especially for families that are already struggling. This challenge is not the same everywhere, so we need different plans to help the different communities that are dealing with the problem of people being forced to leave their homes. An affordability crisis unfolds, unmasking the struggle of states to meet rent payments and countering assertions of rent price trends. Recent revelations expose a sobering reality. New York, Nevada, and Louisiana bear the brunt, with renters facing acute challenges. Over 20% of New Yorkers, nearly 20% in Nevada and Louisiana, are behind on at least one payment. The crisis isn't a distant concept. It's a daily battle for families. A state-by-state breakdown reveals a stark truth. The burden of unaffordable housing isn't evenly distributed, underscoring the urgency for targeted interventions to prevent widespread financial distress. The housing problem is more than just numbers. It's a sad story. It shows that rent prices aren't going down like people thought. This problem is not just about facts and figures. It's about real people. Families are struggling to pay higher rent without much money, and they have to make hard choices. Every number represents a person, a family, and their tough situation. Evictions are not just about numbers. They're tough situations that turn lives upside down. Tenants are scared, so they don't ask for repairs, and they stay quiet. The cost for people is really big. Their dreams break, and their futures are uncertain. This is not just about facts and figures. It's about the well-being of many Americans. This shows us that things are serious, and we need to do something. Families all over the country are dealing with higher rent costs, and it's not easy because their pay and the number of houses available are not in balance. Each number we see has a real story behind it. It's about people's dreams being put on hold and their lives being changed. We need to do something about this now. We can't pretend that things are getting better. We need to face the problems directly. Rent prices are still going up, and it's something we all need to work together to fix. We have to make sure things are stable and that everyone can afford a home in the future. It's not something fancy, it's something basic that everyone should have. We need to do things right away, like giving targeted help and making changes to housing rules. This is a really important time to stop things from getting worse and help many families. We need to act right now to make things better and give everyone a safer and happier future.